And here we go into game number 1 in a best of 3 for HGC Open Division North America Cup number 6, featuring New Guys versus Order of the Sleeping Dragon, otherwise known as OSD, for the remainder of this cast. First pick and ban going over to OSD, and they're going to ban out the false side. That's interesting to me on Infernal. That means one of the Shield siblings is going to get through.
Yeah, those Shield siblings indeed very strong at the moment.
Yeah, not prioritizing that ban. So either they want to pick up one of them, or they just don't feel that it's critical to pick up one of them. Now, I think Zarya is OP, just crazy OP on Infernal Shrines. Zarya allowing you, of course, to shield your teammates, do all the things that you need to do, and pump out some crazy numbers, especially if you have someone that's really quality at playing Zarya. Important, right? Obviously, the person playing that character has to be good at playing that character. And Mouth getting the ban from TNG. So, Tassadar and Zarya available after the first ban phase. And now if you're OSD, you have to ask yourself, do you want Zarya or do you want Tassadar? Because they're both available. And that may be what New Guys set out to do, make sure that one of them was available for each team.
Oh, there's the Zarya pickup real quick.
Okay, and now going over to New Guys, I would love to see like a Vala Tassadar picked up here, given that you know the second shielder is available, and you know that Vala with Tassadar is like super good. I promise I'm not psychic. It's just Tassadar Vala. And now the draft is open, right? Pick whatever you want as OSD, whatever is going to help your comp out. Maybe a warrior at this point, just so you can get the one you're looking for. Pre-ban number 2. What would you do here? What would your pick be?
Well, you got to get that healer out of the way. I mean, so OSD has to pick up a healer. Yeah, there it is, Lucio. That's what I was thinking, because Malf is banned out. They picked up the task, which means they are going for another healer. You usually don't want a solo task, right? Because he doesn't, he's no substitute for an actual healer. And then so you pick up the Lucio that chokes out supports a little bit. And then so they do have the Rhaegar, but you can ban the Rhaegar here to continue choking out on supports.
Right, OSD can absolutely ban the Rhaegar. If New Guys bans the Rhaegar here, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit.
Now, for New Guys, you could potentially ban out the Tracer here because it is good with Zarya. Maybe not as good as Task, but you could ban something else that you guys don't like to play against, or that you think is very strong. And the Dahaka ban here. No globals.
No globals. No globals for you. All right then. I actually really kind of dig those picks. I'm a little bummed that we're not going to be seeing a Sonya on this map because she's so powerful. But I think that was the right ban. And I think Arthas Oriole makes sense. Now the question is, do you think New Guys is going to solo tank Arthas? And if you're OSD, you almost have to take the Muradin at this point, don't you?
You could pick up a spellcaster. And then you could also pick up the Anubarak if you wanted to solidify that spellcaster's position, but they do decide to go ETC.
ETC got a nerf-ish in the last rework. And they're buffing ETC in the 2.0 patch because of that nerf-ish rework. So I'm a little worried about ETC into what New Guys is showing right now, but the Jaina is a really solid mage, especially on Infernal Shrines, especially if you can get it set up with a mosh pit. What Graviton Surge in the mosh pit into Ring of Frost.
I really like how New Guys picked out their draft because they left this bottom space open that they can pick up an Anubarak to counter out spellcasters, or they can pick up another damage dealer if they wanted. It's really open to almost anything at this point in their draft.
You know what I wouldn't mind seeing, and I know they have this in their bag of tricks. I would not mind seeing. You know, I don't know if that works with the Shields of Zarya though.
I was gonna say more wave clear.
No, I was thinking like a Zeratul or a Valera, but you can't really one shot with the Zarya around, or Lucio breaking it down. So they go the Varian. Okay. That could actually work because you can run any build with Varian in a 13-pick shield breaker anyway. Right? So that could absolutely work out well for them. Especially if we see like a Colossus Smash or a Twin Blades Varian.
Yeah, we see that the Sleeping Dragons, they don't have like a lot of sustain damage. I mean, Greymane a little bit, but a lot of it is burst. So if they go parry, Varian, then it's very difficult to take them down.
But with that said, we're going to jump into the game and introduce the two teams. For OSD on the red team, Order of the Sleeping Dragon, we have Huffle on the Zarya, Corgi Booty on the Jaina, Edamonia on the Lucio, Christopher on the ETC, and Silent Shoe on the Greymane.
And for the New Guys, we have Nailter on Auriel, Ataro on Varian, Grim on Tassadar, Saray on the Vala, and Stu Manchu on the Arthas.
So, perfect vacuum. Who do you think won this?
Well, I think... I don't know. I think that... I guess in a vacuum, I'd give it to Order of the Sleeping Dragons because they do have a lot more options available to them.
Okay.
Whereas the New Guys, a lot of their damage is on the Vala, but that depends on like what build the Varian goes, right?
Right. Okay. Fair enough. And we do see Varian starting right away with Overpower. So starting with all his W talents. Oh, this is interesting. So we have 4-on-2 in the middle and 3-on-1, or 1-on-3 rather, in the top lane. Arthas taking a decent whacking if he chooses to stay out, but does not. And we do have the Varian and Auriel rotating up.
This is some weird new meta rotation right now.
I think more than anything, this was a let's start our first clear a little off to protect the Greymane. I don't know how deep they'll go, or maybe they just want this bottom cannon tower. Looks like that's what OSD really is after. Putting some pressure onto that bottom cannon tower and causing Stu Manchu to go ahead and tap on that Arthas right away.
Yeah, Zarya is amazing when it comes to pushing, especially when she can get to those turrets.
Varian in trouble. Stun comes out. He is 1-on-2 against ETC and Jaina. Taking a big chunk of damage, is not going to die to that, though. Maybe this was the plan. Maybe we're going to see like a 3-2 or a 3-1-1 with just 3 in the top lane. And that was OSD's plan from the beginning. Hey, let's get a 3-man in the top lane, take down that wall as soon as we can, and force New Guys not to do the typical 1-4, where the 4-man rotation between mid lane and bottom lane. Right? And like just say, you know what? We've practiced this strat. Let's take them off our game and force them into a strat that we know.
Yeah, really taking advantage of the lack, well, I guess somewhat lack of wave clear on the side of New Guys. They don't have like a KT or anything.
Right, and we do have Mig Shrine is the first shrine to spawn. It is going to be a Mortar Punisher. And OSD already starting on the Skeletal Minions to try and get an early lead.
You guys about to hit 4. Are they gonna do something with this slight advantage here?
Would not surprise me to see them push in a little bit now and try to take shrine control away and erase that lead that OSD had. They were up 20-10.
Well, ETC coming in here.
That's a deep slide, and Vala goes down quickly.
Oh, that's a huge pick off because Vala is
Arthas
the
also
main
low.
part of their damage.
Right, and without Arthas and Vala at this point, I think New Guys needs to back away from the shrine, just preparing for the defense and soaking where they can. Those were 2 really, really solid and early kills for OSD, and they needed those to keep shrine control, and that's what they did.
This is the part in the game where you're thankful that they don't have a Sylvanas.
Right, because this defense would be really difficult without that Sylvanas. Varian dragging the Punisher over the gate. And this early with a single Punisher, really, I only expect OSD to probably... Maybe they'll get the fountain in addition to the wall, but I think the front wall is all they're really going to get out of this this Punisher. OSD getting the entire front wall, though, not even leaving the little side walls standing. So that's really all you can hope for with an early Punisher like that. But they also have, OSD has about half a level lead, which is really actually quite good at this point in the game. And they start taking Merc Camp. So OSD ahead in the Merc Camp game as well.
Oh man, Varian getting caught out a little bit over here.
But we have all 5 members of New Guys in the bottom. A lot of damage going out, and that's a dead Zarya. Shields can't save you when you're stunned and killed. Actually, her shield may have been on cooldown. I'm not sure. I may have missed that part. Jaina clearing top, rotating down, clearing bottom, rotating back up to top. Doing the rotation game to make sure Soak isn't missed. And 7 available for OSD before New Guys. Three in the mid for New Guys. 4 in the mid for OSD. Varian thinking about moving up top, but staying down in that bottom lane. Jaina now rotating down. This is going to put all 5 members of OSD in the mid lane.
Zarya taking a little bit of damage here.
OSD, though, rotating onto their fallen shaman camp in that top lane, looking to get that taken and picked up real quick. So we're back to a 4-on-3. Oh, see now, this fallen shaman camp for OSD was actually really smart. New Guys doesn't have time to go up and start their fallen shaman camp. So they're going to get a slight lead on the skeletal defenders. But that fallen shaman camp is now going to push top lane with nobody there to challenge it. Arthas already making his way past mid lane into bottom lane, looking at that shrine.
The ETC in the shrine, doing a little bit of zoning.
Oh, that's going to be a dead Zarya. Arthas able to slow her down enough that the rest of New Guys are able to finish that kill. But again, Fallen Shaman Camp just chilling up in that top lane, getting ready to put some pressure on that top lane front wall of New Guys.
You guys are probably going to take this this shrine.
All right, Arthas now leaving, going to clear, hopefully going to clear that Fallen Shaman Camp that's putting pressure on that wall. Let's see, yep, the front wall is actually down in the top lane. Bottom lane, we have a Frozen Punisher going in with just Vala Ariel to support it. Up, here comes Tassadar. Looks like Varian also coming down. But New Guys may not even get this front wall as slow as the rotation was, and as quickly as that Punisher's going down from OSD. Indeed, they protect their front wall. They took a lot of damage, and that wall is pretty weak, but they did protect it, denying the XP from New Guys, which may have actually got them 10.
Yeah, New Guys' composition is definitely not as damage heavy as OSD's is, but they are much more durable.
10's about to be available for New Guys, and not very far off for OSD. OSD already picking up their Impaler camp. New Guys picking up the bottom Impaler camp. And Arthas could be in a bad situation here. We do have taunt from Varian coming out. Oh,
Oh,
new
volley
guys
going
rolling in, popping everything, but so is Lucio breaking it down and giving shields to his team. And you'll notice all of OSD have basically full health. So a number of heroic abilities used from the new guys, but Lucio's Let's Break It Down completely negating that damage.
Oh, see, looks like they wanted something there with the Lucio amp it up, but unable to get anything.
And now we have a camp invade from OSD onto new guys Impaler camp. And you know the other thing that's interesting here to me, OSD completely ignoring the Impaler camp bottom, which is going to be free XP going over to new guys right now who do have the XP lead, albeit it's like a third of a, not even a third, it's a bare XP lead. Let's just leave it at that. It's really small. But free XP is still free XP. Jaina just now getting down there to clear those Impalers up right away. And everyone makes their way slowly to the top lane. But we do have members of the new guys starting their Fallen Shaman camp, while we have members of OSD starting this Punisher Shrine and Mystic. It's an Arcane Punisher. The most damaging of all Punishers.
This is going to be a big one.
And you know what's interesting? The other thing that I want to point out is if this Punisher goes over to ETC, with that front wall down, the first jump can be followed up on really, really hard, especially with ETC going Mosh. And we can see a ton of damage coming out onto...
Oh, he's coming in.
There's the Mosh.
Here comes the Mosh.
Two-man Mosh Pit is going to be effective, but not going to get any kills until now. Arthas going down to Greymane. Taunt coming out. Greymane getting oh so low, but is not going to die. Vala taking a ton of damage here. Greymane still solo, but still diving in, looking to get a kill. That's going to be 1-4-0 in the favor of OSD, but they are backing off, tapping their wells, and then coming back in on this shrine, looking to finish it off. They are halfway there, 20-6 on the Skeletal Defenders. That is a good lead at this point.
Oh, Ariel getting trapped here.
Called out. She is going to die. And that should allow OSD to make some quick work of some of these other heroes still alive. And this should be the Punisher at this point going over to OSD.
Yeah, new guys knowing that they're probably not going to get the Punisher, so they spread out to get some EXP before that Punisher spawns.
And this Punisher's going to go straight to the fort. Nothing there to stop it. Fort will go down. And the reality is, if OSD can break a sidewall so that they can follow up on the Punisher stun, we may see some more kills going out on the new guys. Tassadar still staying mid. Arthas grabbing a camp bottom. And everybody's starting to be back. And look at pull this Punisher over. Here comes the dive. Punisher is over. Sidewall is down. Most of the front wall is down. OSD can follow up if they see an opportunity. Probably next jump from the Punisher. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that ETC slide in. But there is the jump. No slide from ETC. Punisher so low.
Oh, here comes the engage from you guys. Arthas getting really low.
Arthas getting wrecked. Varian getting rooted with that Ring of Frost. And then Ariel trying to save his life does so. But Greymane is going to die. It will be a 1-for-1 Greymane for Arthas.
Oh, man, that was indeed a big Punisher. Took out the topmost forward and then took out half the HP of the
that
top
keep.
keep.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of value in that Punisher for OSD, and we are going to see camps picked up on both sides. This should be double Impaler camps going over, one to each team. Arthas just charging in, looking to do something. Expulsion zone out, not able to get anybody, and Vala really low. Out comes the Mosh, two-man Mosh Pit. I think that went, if that didn't go the full duration of Mosh Pit, that got as close as it could get. Vala going down first. Oh, Varian in a bad place. His parry going to save him for a little while, but I don't know if it's going to last forever. Down goes Varian. Arthas, Ariel, and Tassadar all back up a little bit to retreat to the safety of that fort.
And the next Punisher is spawning right now. Zarya looks like she's going up to see if she can't get that shaman camp.
Oh yeah, she's starting it. Between her and Greymane, that should be pretty quick. We do have new guys. Tassadar, a number of people, 4 of the 5 hitting the Fallen Shaman camp for new guys. So that should be Fallen Shaman camp against Fallen Shaman camp. But because OSD started it earlier, they are in position to start this right now, and Lucio does so, killing off skeletal defenders as quick as his little skater beam can.
Oh, ETC getting caught out a little bit here, taking
a lot of damage, but let's break it down. Coming out and keeping him alive. Expulsion zone really separating ETC from the rest of new guys. And that's a 19-0 lead, but we do have OSD backing off that shrine and looking like they may just soak for 16 here. I'm not sure this bottom wave is going to do it. They're going to have to re-engage. Oh, nope, there is the 16. And now new guys have to back out because they no longer have that even tier. Vala taking a ton of damage, able to get out. Oh, Greymane dives, gets the Vala, Varian barely escaping that ice ring. ETC in and 2-man mosh again.
Big mosh.
That is a dead Arthas and a dead Varian, leaving only Tassadar and Ariel still up. Tass will probably escape. Ariel will not. Tass with his trait, or his E rather, able to escape. And that should be a shrine coming over quite easily to OSD here.
Tass still needs to be pretty careful. His shift is down.
You know what I would not mind seeing would be, okay, good, they're doing it. I was going to say, ETC and Zarya just tearing down the wall, so when the Punisher goes in, like, you've already started, and you can eliminate the Punisher from taking damage, which they do by taking most of the fort, and that cannon tower is not going to be quite enough to do really any damage. 6% damage to that Punisher. Break the wall, guys. That's how you follow up, and there goes the wall. In comes ETC. No follow-up, though, and OSD just going to focus on taking down the wall and the keep at this point. When this Punisher jumps again, though, it could be there. Not quite. OSD taking out the keep and backing out safely. Deciding to play it safe rather than aggro-tastic like you know I am. Instead, opting to, I bet, yep, steal new guys, Impaler camp in the mid lane.
We got some more red paint about to wash over the map.
Right. I expect mid camp here, and Zarya already starting bottom camp. That should be all of the available camps over. It's a minute 12 and a minute until the Fallen Shamans respawn. And yes, that is going to be the last Impaler camp. You know what I'd really like to see out of OSD, and this is probably like super aggro. Go take that top keep. Ignore everything else on the map. Go the long way around, take the top keep. That'll do one of two things. You don't necessarily have to take the keep, but show like you're going to take the keep. New guys goes up there to stop you, and then your Impaler camp middle.
Oh, here comes a big flank.
Just push. Oh, ETC taking a decent chunk of damage, but able to slide out and then rooted. Vala trying to follow up on that is not going to be able to. OSD walks away to safety. We do have 16 versus 19 currently. So
that flank probably would have worked if OSD had any other healer besides Lucio.
Right.
Here comes another flank.
This is the last chance really for new guys to take a fight on the same tier. And doing what they can, but not quite able to get a pick. And OSD doing the right thing, right? they're so close to 20, they're just going to keep moving away until they can get 20. Fallen Shaman Camp has spawned on both sides. It looks like OSD will get theirs right away. Cursed Bullet being popped. Ooh, that's a mosh pit coming out. Everybody popping everything, and it looks like Arthas will be the first to die, followed by Jaina. 1 for 1 so far, but a number of people really low on both teams. Vala taking a decent amount of damage. May go down here as well. Greymane finishing her off. Tassadar and Ariel not in the safe position. But really, it's Varian that was really in a bad position. But ETC following Ariel in, looking to finish her off. Not going to be able to do so. They may get this fort for free. And this is a lot of trouble for new guys. Not the fort specifically, but now it's 20 versus 17, which is really what OSD was looking for. And it's top shrine, and it's going to be double Fallen Shaman Camps pushing this top lane. That keep is not going to last. Even if it gets through both camps, because there's a ton of people clearing waves, the Punisher's going to walk right up to that keep and get a stun in the process. So... And we already see that, right? I mean,
this shrine is definitely, like, maybe the nail in the coffin here for new guys.
I mean, what do you do at this point? You can't go in and contest this shrine 18 versus 20. That's like a recipe to, like, get wiped and end the game anyway, right? So, is that her? Yeah, that's her. Okay. I didn't realize they made Zarya's personal shield look so much like a... rewind icon.
Red team has summoned a frozen Punisher.
All right, it is a frozen Punisher, which is kind of weak in the realm of Punishers, but it's still a Punisher, and it's still gonna wreck this keep and go straight to core. Now,
hey, does frozen Punisher synergize really well with Jaina?
you know what? It really does actually, and even ETC, right? If they can't move, you can easily get in. There's the leap. On to Varian, not doing a ton of damage, which is good, and oh, Punisher is distracted onto the cannon tower. Now, new guys did go and take that bottom, or tried to go take that bottom fort off of OSD to try and get themselves 20. We're not able to. Out comes Let's Break It Down. Lots of shields, and Varian in a really bad place. Out comes the Ring of Frost. Out comes the damage. That 3-man stun into a mosh pit. Varian really low. Ariel is the first to die, followed by Tassar. I would have honestly picked Arthas as being the next to die, but that's going to be all keeps down. Punisher leaping onto Vala. Vala taking a ton of damage and getting melted. That's going to be a game. I do not think... Well, Dead Arthas definitely can't, but I don't think Varian can do this by himself. Core falling very rapidly. 20%, 10%. That's going to be game number 1 going over to OSD in our best of 3.